A very merry un-pollinator week to you. Welcome back, everybody. We are on our last day of this particular un-pollinator week. And so we are just going to jump right in and start looking at what is hanging out on the plants today. It's raining once again, and so hopefully we'll be able to see some good stuff. Let's go. Okay, so who do we have here? Well, first I would like to point out we have a lot of aphids on this plant. Second of all, we can see one of the predators of aphids that we will usually see showing up once we have enough aphids, enough presence of them in the garden on particular plants. Then we'll start to see things like this lacewing fly larva showing up to feed on them. Basically, for example, a green lacewing fly adult will find a place where there's lots of aphids and then will lay her eggs in abundance on leaves and plants that have a good presence of aphids, and then their larvae will actually, once they hatch, start feeding on these things. So it makes them very important biocontrol agents in our gardens. Kind of keeps these insects, these bugs, under control. And you can actually see this particular lacewing fly larva does have one in its clutches right now. They can eat up to 100 of these in one day. It's very, very cool. That's why they have the nickname the aphid lion. And so just one more cool thing to see in the yard and in the garden on plants. And what you'll start to see when you see a heavy presence of something like aphids, it might take a second for the predators to show up because they have to notice it. So once they start noticing it, you start seeing them. Oh, look at this, man, this is exciting. You start seeing them show up in abundance to feed on these things. But we have to wait and we have to be patient for that to happen. And if you plant it, they will come. If their food source is there, they will show up to eat. So just one more little thing to appreciate in the garden. This is something that's very tiny, so you really have to look up close and stare at your plants a little bit to notice it. And that is all for today's featured un-pollinator for this week. That's all for today. Thank you for joining me for this week celebrating Un-Pollinator Week. I hope this series has inspired you to look around you and celebrate these little beings a little bit more throughout the whole year. I've enjoyed this tea party time with you. And I hope that maybe you will be also inspired to take small actions to support these beings, such as just incorporating some more native Missouri plants into your own outdoor space. Even just a little bit helps, and you'll start seeing things pop up that weren't there before you put those plants there. So with that in mind, I leave you with this. A very merry un-pollinator week to you, to you. A very merry un-pollinator week to you, to you. We have to drink to someone, and I guess that you will do. A very merry un-pollinator week to you. Now, statistics prove that you've one pollinator week. That's one pollinator week every year. But there are 51 un-pollinator weeks. Precisely why we're gathered here to cheer. A very merry un-pollinator week to us, to us. A very merry un-pollinator week to us, to us. If there are no objections, let it be unanimous. A very merry un-pollinator week to us.